Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
In the last few classes, we were doing started with classes. That's what here we have started with class. Please, everyone, mute yourself. We are able to hear other voice, background voice. Okay. Who is that? Can anyone inform who is that? Can go for mute. Message your classmates to go for mute. Okay. So in the last class, we have started with a class, object, and method. This is very important, where we have seen what is a class and what is an object. Class is something like fruit. Taking an example, class is a fruit. Objects can be, it has its own properties. So like apple has its own property, banana has its own property, mango has its own property. Same way, even in our class, when we are writing any program, class is like your exam template. So they give you just a template, and you once you start filling, that becomes your exam form for that particular semester. So you have now how many semesters? So many semesters. Blank sheets will be given. So that is as a class. And after you filling, it may be first semester, second semester, third semester, like this. That becomes an object. So that's the difference between class and the object. So we have seen how to create a class, how to create an object, how the multiple objects have been created, how do we use multiple classes. So we can use more number of classes, but you use any number of classes, but only one class will have this main method. That we have to remember. So then execution we know, and what are the Java class attributes? We use the term variable for X in the example. It is actually an attribute of the class, or you should say that the class attributes are variable within a class. So then Java here, so main, and in this class, what are the attributes? X and Y are the attributes, and we have initialized these two attributes as 5 and 3, which we have seen. So then accessing this method, we access the variables using a object. So then we have seen a small format or a syntax for the class. So class name, how many variables you want, you can give. What is the type, data types you want. Then methods, method 1 and method 2. Then the body and body 2. So then the same way we have started with the class, two classes, box and box demo. Here we have taken double, WHT, some variables we have taken, and that data type we have given it as a double. So in the same way, we have created two objects, B1 and B2, and we have passed some values for each of the objects. And each of the objects, after calculating, it will be displayed. So then we have seen about how the objects, what is a new operator. So to create any objects, we are using a new operator. So then we have seen what is a method and how the data types are being used. So then the method name. So then what is a return type? What is a parameter list? And if you are passing any return type, then a return value. So then specifies the data type of the variable returned by the method. It may be primitive type or any other derived type, including name or the same class. If the method does not return any value, the return type should be avoided. That's what we have seen: method name, parameter list, body of the method, and a return. Then we have seen the same example, box and box demo. Here we have just taken a method to show that how the method is. And in this method, we are just calculating what W value into H value into D value and displaying it. So the same thing for both B1 and B2 objects. And using a return, so If you want to use a written, so then we are using a written and calculate that, because this value will be passed here and those values will be displayed here. So then we have seen about uh, how to pass box and a method. So set is a method where we have passed a values. So the same way, now we have started with a constructor and parameterized constructor. So what is constructor? Constructor is a special type of method which is invoked automatically when the object gets created. Constructors are used for object initialization. They have same name as that of class. Since they are called automatically, there is no return type for them. Constructor may or may not take a parameter. So that's what here, taking first example, here we have two constructors. One is a ordinary constructor, another is a parameterized constructor. In ordinary constructor, we can see W, H, and D, all the three values are being assigned with the value 5. So, and whereas with the parameterized constructor, we are passing a values for W, a double, width, height, and a double. So then B1, B2, so we have passed here, you can see B1 in B2 will be having same output, and B3 will be having different, where we are passing 2, 4, and 3. So that's the reason you can see 125, 125 for B1 and B2, and B3 to 24. Next, we have started with some points how the class constructors are, and we have seen how the constructor should be. So then we have started with a this keyword. So what is this keyword is using the current whatever is there that I want to take. So then we are using a this keyword. So this is a format of using a this keyword, this dot W, this dot H, this dot D. So this is how we use a double. And instance variable. So how the instance variable are. So you can see here how difference between the instance variable and the hiding. How the differences between the instance variable and the local variable. So here to differentiate, you can see here in this box, both W, W, H, H, and D, D, both are same. So to differentiate between these, we are using a this. So to make a difference between an instance variable and a local variable, we are using a this. And we have seen about the garbage collection and C and C++, where in C++ generally we used a destructor. So constructor, to that we were using a destructor. But whereas in Java it is not required, because the memory deletion operation will be handled by the garbage collection. So it is not required for us manually say destruct. We were using, if you people can remember in C++, we were using a destructor. So tilt operator was used and destructor was used. Why we were using tilt operator and destructor is to delete the memory. So that work is not required now in Java. That will be taken care by a JVM. So how it will be taken care? The garbage collection will be doing that. Chaining up of memory will be done by the garbage collection thing. So next is finalize. So now garbage collection, what it will do, it will clean. But before cleaning, it should confirm, okay, I have to clean or I should not clean. So then we are using a final method. So what this final will do, it will confirm whether should be deleted or should not be deleted. So that's what this finalize method will be doing. And we have seen how the finalize method the format is. So finalize, we have done with this. Okay, it's okay, no problem. Finalize method has this general form, protected, void, finalize. So then what is a block code we want to give, we can give. Here the keyword protected is a specifier that prevents access to finalize by code defined outside its class. So uh, I want to know whether I have to protect. I don't want to give all my password, username to others. So then I want to protect. Same way here, access specifiers, what we do is, whether it is public, I want to make it public, private, protected. So how we do it, left to us how we want. So that's what here, generally this format for finalize, it is protected. Why protected means, further when I'm using finalize, I cannot further inherit. Yes, I cannot further derive. That is the keyword final. Final means it will stop. Here, the keyword protect is specifier that prevents access to finalize by code defined outside its class. Note that finalize is only called just prior to garbage collection. So that's what here. So that's what I told. Before we delete anything from memory, we should confirm, right? Then we are using a finalize. It is not when an object goes out of a scope. So we cannot know when the finalize method is called, or we may be sure whether it is called or not before our program termination. Therefore, if at all our program uses some resources, we should provide some of the names for releasing them and must not depend on finalize method. Okay, so next we start with stack. So did you hear anywhere stack? Did you use anywhere stack? Anybody can? Data structure. What is a stack? What's a stack?
Which follows last in first out.
Yes. So we have seen in the data structure stack, queues. So here we just use how to use a stack. So to summarize the concepts of encapsulation, class, constructor, member, initialization, etc., we now consider the program to implement a stack operation. So which you have studied in data structure. What is a stack? Stack means where one end is closed and other end is open. So like your disk, you people would at least used CDs. So in a CD rack, CD, if you have purchasing one lump sum CDs, so one side it is closed and you keep inserting a CDs, right? So this is one best example as a stack. So the last CD which you are keeping, that will be the one first coming out. So that's what stack is. So stack is a last in, first out. That's what it is called as a LIFO. Data structure. Following a figure will depict the basic operations of the stack. So here you can see. And what are the things? I have a stack. I have one more pointer. What that pointer we are calling? We are calling it as a top. Initially, it will be down, means minus. It is not pointing to the stack initially if we don't have any elements in the stack. Okay. Top becomes 0, means one element is inserted. Then inserting one more element, top becomes 1. So then top, you can increment top how much stack you have declared. So here in this case, stack is declared as 3. Means we can store only 3 elements in the stack. So 25, 41 and 37 is inserted. Now again, if you want, now the stack is full. Suppose if I want to insert one more element here, I cannot, because my size is complete. I don't have again to insert. So that is what is a stack is full. So now, if I want to delete 25, is it possible for me to delete 25? Can anyone answer? Can I delete 25?
No, ma'am.
No. I cannot delete 25 until unless 37 and 41 got over. Yes. So now if I say delete, the top element is 37. I can only delete 37. So after 37 is deleted, now I can delete 41 because 37 is deleted. Now the top element is 41. So now I can delete. If both the elements 37 and 47 is deleted, then I can delete 25. This is how I can, but I cannot delete 25 directly. Until unless I delete 37 and 41, I cannot delete 25. So this is the operations which you would have studied in data structure. The stack will be fixed, something like your array, but here in this case, only one end is closed, only and other end is open, and we have to do operations only from one end. So that operation, whatever we do from one end, that is what is called as a top. So either you do insertion, either you do deletion, both the things will be done by a only one pointer, that is called as a top. So this is a just a brief introduction about the stack. So inserting an element in the stack is known as a push operation. I think you'll be knowing what is the operation we are calling for inserting in the stack. We call it as a push. What is the operation we are doing for a deletion? We call it as a pop. Yeah, and if I want to display any elements from the stack, then we can do a display operations. So that's what here. Inserting an element into the stack is known as a push operation, whereas deleting an element from the stack is called as a pop operation. An attempt made to push an element into a full stack is stack overflow. Yes. What do we mean by stack overflow? What is stack overflow?
Stack is full.
Yeah. So when elements are full, when my stack is full, still I want to insert some element, then we call it as a stack overflow. So anybody say what is underflow?
Empty.
So now here
When
20.
we try to pop an element.
Now
we are trying to remove something which doesn't exist.
yes. So now I have element here. You can see this last one. So if I say delete element from this, the last one which I am showing, can we do that? There are no elements in the stack. If I say delete, how will the operation can be done? Because that when there is no element, then such type is called as a underflow. So overflow, underflow, push, pop, display. So these are the things which you have to remember with respect to stack. So what is push? Insertion operation. What is pop? Deletion operation. What is display? Elements which are there I want to display. Overflow, already stack is full, I cannot insert anything, so that is overflow. Underflow, there are no elements, I cannot delete, so that's what is called as a underflow. Okay, the same thing with respect to program. Class stack, so we have told the stack size is how much. Stack size we are saying it as a 5, and that one pointer top. So initially we have a top as -1 initializing, and this is what is called as a constructor. Stack is a constructor and we have initialized some value. Then operation push, inserting an element. Till when I can insert? I can insert till the top becomes 5, top becomes 4, because the top starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For 5 elements can be inserted. Once this becomes complete, then I can say stack is full. Else, if it is first element, only one element is there, then you can increment the top and insert the item. Insert the item where? To the stack, increment the top. So this is what is, this is a function or a method used for inserting, and that we are calling it as a push. Next one, I want to delete elements from the stack, then that is what is called as a pop. So what we are doing in a pop? Deleting. So then if top equal to -1, if top is -1, so then what we can do? I cannot insert any, I cannot delete. Yes, because there are no elements in the stack. So then such type we are calling it as a stack underflow. So then return 0. So we are just returning it. So come out. And else if it is not, if some elements are present in the stack, then delete. So which one? The top element which is there, that should be deleted. So that's the reason you can see stack top minus minus means if you delete, come down. So that is what we say here, stack. And stack just demo. So initializing two object, my stack 1, my stack 2. So this is new operator. Generally when we use, when we want to create any object, we use a new. So then stack push. So push 5 elements to the stack 1 and push 5 elements to the stack 2. We are using two stacks, stack 1 and my stack 1, my stack 2. So two stacks are used, and in two stacks we want to insert first stack 5 elements, second stack 10. From 5 to 10 it is same, 5 elements only. So then insert the stack, repeat the loop. After this operation is for insertion. I now for deleting. So deleting, these two operations we are using. So that is pop, this is push. I think you'll be you at least you would be remembering here. This is push, this is pop. So that methods we are calling here. How many times? 5, any number of times I want to insert values. So you can see how we are doing it. So that's about a stack. Any doubts in the stack program concept? Any problem, any doubts, you can ask me.
Ma'am?
Yes, Yes.
In the last part of the stack, it says we are popping it out to display.
Where?
In the last part of the stack program.
This one.
Yes, ma'am. In the last part, it says we are
Ah.
popping out to
Hmm.
display.
No, no, no. This is just to pop. This is for one deletion from a stack 1. This is stack 2 deletion. Here in this case, we have not done display. So we want, we can do display also.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Next, we move on to the overloading. Heard about overloading? Heard about overloading?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is overloading? What's overloading?
Invoking the same methods with the different types of parameters.
Invoking with the different types of parameters. Very good. Let me come back. Let me complete taking attendance. Then I'll come back to you again. Today's date is 31. Anaka? Anaka is present. Abhilash?
Yes, ma'am.
Akil? Akil? Akrut?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, Akil present.
Anusha?
Yes, ma'am.
Arvind?
Present, ma'am.
Arifullah?
Yes, ma'am.
Benaka?
Present, ma'am.
Banu Prakash?
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav?
Yes, ma'am.
Rahmatullah? Rahmatullah is present. Chaitra?
Ma'am, he's put in chat box.
Okay.
Present, ma'am.
Chandana?
Present, ma'am.
Charan?
Yes, ma'am.
Darshan? Darshan? Diksha?
Ma'am, Darshan is present, ma'am.
Yeah, Diksha? Dakshayani?
Present, ma'am.
Kishan?
Present, ma'am.
Harshit?
Present, ma'am.
Hemlata?
Present, ma'am.
Uma?
Present, ma'am.
Jayant?
Present, ma'am.
Divya?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Anaga is present, ma'am.
Where you were, madam, when I called your name? Okay, marked.
Ma'am, Uma present, ma'am.
Yeah, marked Uma. Kaushik?
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi?
Present, ma'am.
Lavanya?
Present, ma'am.
Manisha?
Ma'am, present, ma'am.
Yes. Sorry, Manish. Manoj? Manoj? Mohit?
Yes, ma'am.
Naval?
Present, ma'am.
Navya?
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil?
Present, ma'am.
Panindra?
Present, ma'am.
Pawan?
Ma'am, Darshan also present, ma'am.
Yeah, marked. Pawan?
Present, ma'am.
Pooja?
Present, ma'am.
Purnima? Purnima? Raman?
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi?
Present, ma'am.
Rupak?
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar. Sai Kumar. Samir. Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Sadab.
Present, ma'am.
Sharan.
Present, ma'am.
Shashank. Sheetal.
Present, ma'am.
Shivani.
Present, ma'am.
Soumya.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Spurti.
Present, ma'am.
Shri Vishnu.
Present, ma'am.
Sugandhini.
Present,
Sushma.
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita BS.
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita U.
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha.
Present, ma'am.
Trupti.
Present, ma'am.
Varsha.
Present, ma'am.
Veena.
Present, ma'am. Purnima, present, ma'am.
Yeah, marked Purnima. Sai Kumar is present. Samir. Shashank. Manoj. Diksha. Yeah, these people are absent. Shashank.
Present, ma'am.
You have to answer. If you don't answer, you are the person who are losing your attendance. Yeah, I think you'll be knowing today. I'll be taking 2 hours. 2 hours in sense 2 attendance. Yeah. Yes, Jayant. I'm not marked your attendance.
Mark, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So till 2:40, 1 hour. After that, lab session, right? So instruction for lab session. Okay. So next, someone was saying about what is overloading. Having more than one method with the same name is called as a method overloading. To implement this concept, the constraints are the number of arguments should be different or the types of argument must be different. So let us just take one small example. So here class overload, so void test. So we are using test as one method where we are not passing any parameters. We are just using one print statement. So that is within the test without any arguments. That is one method. And there is one more method we are calling with the same name, that is test. But here, what's the difference here is we are passing one parameter and we are displaying that parameter here. And we are taking one more method with the same name test, but the difference between the above two was two more parameters we are taking, A and B, two parameters we are taking in this test. And one more test we are taking where here, though it is same, one methods, test this one parameter, here also test one parameter, but the difference again here is here we have taken data type as integer and here we have taken data type as double. So this concept, this part is called as a method overload. So what we are doing, so method overload is what? Having more than one method with the same name. So here how many methods we have taken? Test 1, 2, 3, 4 methods with the same name. What is the name? Test. To implement the overloading. Then we call it as a overload. But again, they say some constraints, some limitation. Constraints means what? Some limitations for overloading. What they are giving the overloading? You take any number of same methods, but you can have same names. You can take test. But what should be the difference there? The number of arguments should be different. That's what you can see. in this 0 parameters, in this 1 parameter, in this 2, your data type is different. So that's what here, what was the first method we have told? The number of arguments should be different, and or the type of argument must be different. So that's what here you can see. This test and this test, the parameters are same, AA 1 1, but what is the difference here? Here it is a int, here is a double. So this is how this program will explain you what is method overload. Okay, so now we are creating an object for all the to display. Yes, so then what overloading is this is a one class name we have taken. Then static, I told you this line is compulsory whatever programs we write in the Java, that is public static void main, then string and arguments. So then we are creating one object with the name OB. How to create an object? We have to use a new operator. And what is this overload? Overload is this class name. Yes, so that's what here overload, for which we are creating a object. We are creating for a class called as a overload. What is the name of that object? OB. Okay, so each time we call an object, first time we are calling only test. So ob.test. Which method we are calling? This method we are calling. And what we are doing? We are displaying only this line will be displayed. That is no parameters. Then again we are calling object with a test, one more test, this test. So then we are passing 10. So then 10 will be displayed. Means what? System.out integer a is 10. Okay. So next again what we are doing? Two parameters, right? 10 and 20. This method will be called, that is a and b. Here what we are doing? We are just displaying with two arguments. What is the value of a? 10. What is the value of b? 20 will be displayed. Okay. So next one what we are doing? We are passing value 123.25. So why? So at least to make a difference, saying that this is a double, this is a int, and we are displaying the value. Can anyone give me what is the expected output for this program? What is the expected output for this program? Yes, can anyone? What's the expected output for this program? Yes, anyone? Don't know, or everyone are in your own world?
All the functions of overload will be called.
Yeah, first one.
No parameter.
No parameter.
Second one.
Second one 10.
Next one.
10 20.
Yes. First one no parameter. Second one integer a 10. Third one with two parameters 10 20. Third one double a 123.25. That is your output for this program. Yes, any doubt regarding this overloading? So let me explain you again what is overloading. Overloading, having more than one method with the same name. So in your class, do you have same person with same name? Any two people having same name? Yes? Two people having same name in your class?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is those two? Who is those two?
Sushmita, ma'am.
Yeah. So the names of the in your class itself, Sushmita. There are two Sushmitas. How should we differentiate between these two Sushmitas?
Their initials, ma'am.
Yeah, first initials. So at least because in your class we can differentiate BSU. Suppose if we go for university, there may be some one Sushmita where initial is also same. Then how should we differentiate in university?
USN, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. That's what here we are doing here. How to differentiate between the parameters, methods. Either it should be parameters should be different or types should be different. That is data type should be different. So that is what is called as a overloading method. Having more than one method with the same name is called as a method overloading. To implement this concept, the constraints or limitations are what? The number of arguments should be different and the data type must be different. That's what here. There are four methods. test, test, test. 4 methods are there with the same name, test, test, test. But the difference is, first test, no parameters. Second test, integer parameter. Third test, 2 parameters with integer. Third test with the data type different, but 1 parameter. So that's about your overload. So then overload constructor. So one have more than one constructor for a single class if the number and or type of arguments are different. Consider the code. So here, so what do we mean by constructor? Same name as the class. So that's what here you can see, overload constructor. So we have taken integer a comma b. So then overload constructor, the constructor without arguments. Here in this constructor, we have not passed any values. And one more overload constructor. Here we are passing one variable, one parameter x of data type int, and just displaying that one here. And one more constructor, that is x constructor with 2 parameter, that is x and y, and data types integer and integer. So and displaying them here. So this is the same overload, but here what we have done, used a constructors. What do we mean by constructor? Same name as your class name. So we have used 3 methods with the same name: overload constructor, overload constructor, overload constructor. First overload constructor, no parameters. Second overload constructor, 1 parameter. Third overload constructor, 2 parameters. That's how we differentiate between all these 3. And creating an object for all the 3, object 1, 2, and 3, and passing a value. First one, no parameters. Second one, we are passing 10. Third one, 5 and 10. So that's what here. First, your output will be constructor without argument, constructor with 1 argument 10, constructor with 2 arguments, that is 5 and 12. Yes, so that's about your constructor program. I would like to stop here. We'll continue in the next class. I will stop here. Yeah. Yeah, what was the program in the last class we have done? To present, right? Come back, I'll open in present. Yeah, can anyone explain the second program? We have done, how many programs you have done in the lab? How many programs you have done in the lab? Can anyone answer?
2 programs, ma'am.
2 programs. Yeah. So now I am taking one more attendance because 1 hour, first hour is over, second hour we are starting. That is the second hour is lab instruction class. Okay. So Anaga present, Abhilash present, Akhil present, Akrut present, Anusha present, Arvind present, Arifullah present, Penaka present, Banu Prakash, Bhargav, Rahimatullah, Chaitra, Chandana, Charan present, Darshan present, Diksha, 17. Lakshmi present, Kishan present, Harshit present, Hemalata present, Kuma present, Jayant present, Divya present. So Mondays, if you are remain absent 2 hours class, right? So try to not absent on at least Mondays. Kaushik present, Lakshmi present, Lavanya present, Manish present, Manoj.
Present, ma'am.
Mohit present, Naval present, Navya present, Nikhil present, Panindra present, Pavan present, Pooja present, Purnima present, Raman present, Rashmi present, Rupak present, Sai Kumar, Samir, Santosh present, Sada present, Sharan present, Shashank present, Sheetal present, Shivani present, Soumya present, Spurti present, Sri Vishnu present, Sagandha present, Sushma present, Sushmita present, Sushmita you present, Geeta present, Trupti present, Varsha present, Veena present. Yeah. So who are all absent? Sai Kumar, Samir absent. Sai Kumar, Samir, Diksha. That's all. Okay.
I'm Sai Kumar present, ma'am. Mic issue.
Right. Okay, now anyone can explain the second program I'm displaying
Ma'am,
here.
Sai Kumar present, ma'am.
Yeah, Mark Sai Kumar, your friend told. Okay, so last time 4 people explained. I have marked it. I don't want them to repeat. Benaka, Bhargav, Benaka, Darshan, Kishan, and Lakshmi. Now, leaving these people, I want others to explain. Next, any 4. I'm marking people who are explaining.
Hello,
Yeah.
ma'am. This is Chaitra.
Yes, Chaitra, you want to explain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Chaitra C, right?
Yes, Chaitra AC, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, Chaitra. Okay, Chaitra, you can start.
So this program demonstrates how to implement inner class and demonstrate its access protection. So inner class is nothing but a class inside a class. It's also called as nested class.
Oh, sorry.
So now we have class A, which contains a member method with access protection as public, and class A is the base class and it contains a member method as void display. So in that we have system.out.println with the statement this is the outer class. Now the class A, base class, extends A to as static class B extends A. That is, the base class A is inherited to the class B, which contains a member method void inner display. And here we use the super keyword. A super keyword always refers to the base class. And when we come to the main function, public static void main, we create the object for the extended class B. OB is equal to new B. So a constructor is created here. Then the next is OB. We refer with the object. We call the function with reference to object OB.innerDisplay. So OB.innerDisplay refers to the class B, which contains super.display. So super refers to the base class, and it again refers to the base class A and prints the output as this is outer class. That's all, ma'am.
Next person. Next.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm
Before you start, say your names.
Raman,
Yes, fine. Every time, because again I have to unmute, come back. So the people to continue next, they can start.
My name is Raman Panjika. So this is the second program for demonstrate the access protection. Here, public the access protection. We are creating a class A and printing system. Printing this is outer class. Then extend a class 10B with public void inner display. Inner display is nothing but just a method to differentiate between the base class or from the extended class. We're using the function super.display public static void main. Using the main function, we are creating an object B, which is call the function. Which will call the function. This object, which will call the function B and print the output as this. The output as this is outer class. Done.
How about the super class? What is a super keyword? You have super there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what it is doing? That is the main thing you have to remember here, because the other programs and this are same, but here there is one important point you have to always stress whenever any people ask super keyword. What is the work of super? What's the work of super? Yeah, okay, Raman. Next person.
Ma'am, this is Lavanya, ma'am.
Yes, Lavanya.
Yes, ma'am. This program is to explain the concept of inner classes and its access. How do we access it? And we are having a class A with the member function as display with the public access specifier. In this, we are trying to print the outer class using the system.out.println. And again, we are creating another class within this class, that is class B, which inherits the properties of class A. And in this, we are using the inner display as a member function with the public as an access specifier. And with the help of super keyword, we are inheriting the properties from a class A. And in the main function, we are creating an object for the derived class, that is B. Object is equal to new of BO. And again, we are calling the inner display function. And finally, we'll get an output as this is an outer class.
Okay, Lavanya. So the people who are asking me in the last class, how the access protection. So access protection is, see, you just now I explained you. That's the reason I just want to explain the same concept. So in overloading, what we have done, we can use the same name with a you can have any number of names of the same method. So here display is a method present in class A and display is present in class B also. Can we call this as a overload? No, we cannot call this as a overload. But what we are doing in the base class, we have a same method, and even in a derived also we have a same method, display. So to differentiate between and to take the value from a base class to the derived class, we are using a super. Okay, next person.
Jayant, ma'am.
Jayant. Okay, Jayant, you can continue.
Firstly, defining the class A, then proceed with the public void display function, which gives the statement as this is the outer class. Then continuing with the class B, where the A is the base class and B is the derived class. Then the super.display, which is used to reference the class A, ma'am. Then public static void main, next to creating the arguments creating new object B, then ob dot inner display, which is takes the reference of inner display, where super dot display will be referenced. then the printing with the final statement as this is the outer class, ma'am.
Okay, Jayant. I hope so. Most of you have done. So 4 people have explained. So I just want to stop for today's thing. So we'll continue in the next class.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Raman.
Ma'am,